So the word of faith which we preach is the gospel. Amen? And if the word of faith which we preach is the faith of Jude 3, then we're talking about what? The gospel. Amen?
Amen.
Okay? Jude says, contend earnestly for what? The gospel. Okay? What is the gospel? All right? Let's turn to Mark chapter 1, verse 1. It says, the beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. So what is the gospel? The gospel is the whole story of Jesus. Amen? The gospel is the whole New Testament. All right? Let's turn our Bibles to Galatians chapter 3. Okay, Mark chapter 1, verse 1. The beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ, Son of God. And then we're going to turn our Bibles to Galatians chapter 3. Okay. Okay. Okay, before we get to Galatians 3, okay, let's hold our fingers at Galatians 3. We'll be looking at 23 through 25. Okay. 23 through 25. I love to see these pages turn. I like to see people taking notes. This is beautiful. I was very impressed with that when I first came to Southside Richmond, F.F. Carson. That was the first church congregation where you would see 40, 50 people and even kids sitting up front taking notes. I said, wow, this is really something, okay? But that's what you come to worship service, not to feel good and have a good time, Amen. But to learn. Amen? Amen. Amen. Turning our Bibles also to Romans chapter 1, verse 5. Let's turn there. Romans 1, verse 5. And Acts chapter 14, verse 27. Okay, we're establishing this idea of faith. Amen? Establishing this idea of faith.
What was that?
Romans 1, verse 5. Acts chapter 14, verse 27. Romans 1, chapter 5, it says, by whom also we have received grace and apostleship for the obedience, what? To the faith. You see that? Among all nations for his name, okay? That's after Paul says, Paul, an apostle of Jesus Christ, called to be, Paul, a servant of Jesus Christ, called to be an apostle, separated under the gospel of God, so on. Then he says in verse 5, he says, by whom also we have received grace and apostleship for the obedience to the faith. You see that? To the faith, all right? Among all nations for his name. Acts chapter 14, verse 27. We've been studying the book of Acts. And when they were come and had gathered the church together, they rehearsed all that God had done with them and how he had opened the door of faith to the Gentiles. Open the door of faith to the Gentiles through preaching the word. You see that?
Well, they still rehearsed it when they just went over everything.
Went over everything, right. Amen. Then we go to Galatians 3, verse 23 through 25. What does it say? Galatians 3, verses 23 through 25. Galatians 3, verses 23 through 25. You got it, James? Read it, please.
But before faith came,
we
were kept in custody under the law.
Now, wait a minute. I thought Abraham died in faith. I thought we have a whole group of Old Testament characters, according to Hebrews chapter 11, that were heroes of faith. Amen? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph in Egypt, Moses, all of these were great men of faith. So he's talking about something else, right? But before faith came, we were kept under the law. Okay? Kept under the law, read.
Being shut up to the faith.
Being shut up to the faith which was later to be revealed. The faith which was later to be revealed. You see that?
Yeah.
But before faith came, what faith? The faith that was going to be later revealed. You see that? Before faith came, the faith that would later be revealed, we were kept under the law. Read.
Therefore the law has become our tutor. What was the law? The law was to lead us to what? To Christ. Uh-oh. But before faith came,
And then it says the law led us to Christ. We were kept under the law before faith came. And then it says the law was leading us to Christ. Read.
That we may be justified by faith.
That we might be justified by what? Subjective faith. You see that? Okay? But before faith came, objective faith. We were kept under the law until faith should be revealed. Objective faith. Okay? And then we were what? Led to Christ. Okay? The law was given to lead us to Christ so that we might be what? Justified. Remember, justified, just if I had not done it, that we might be justified by faith. You see that? Okay? That's how I respond to that faith. That's subjective, all right? So the thing believed is the gospel. The thing that no matter how I respond to it is still there is the New Testament, amen? The organized body of truth. That's what's going to be there no matter how I feel about it, okay? But I'm going to hear that word so that I might respond to it, and then that's called subjective faith. And that faith will justify me. Amen? Amen. So basically what I'm saying is that we've got to have faith in the faith. Okay? We are to contend earnestly for the faith and then have faith in the faith. And what is the faith? The organized body of truth. That's how the scriptures use that term. Okay, and that's why Paul could say in 1 Timothy chapter 4, the Spirit speaks expressly that in latter times some shall depart from what? The faith. What is the faith? The organized body of truth. Read on in Galatians 3. Read.
But now that faith has come.
But now that faith has come. Wait a minute. Christ has come, faith has come. You see that? Interchangeably, the word Christ and faith is being used. Do you see that, folks? Okay? Back up again, James, and read that again, please. Start at verse 25 all over again, or 23 all over again. Go ahead.
But
before faith came, we were kept under the law.
Under the law.
Kept in custody, locked up under the law. Read.
Being shut up to
being
the faith,
shut up, okay, to the faith
which was later to be revealed. Therefore,
faith revealed. Abraham had subjective faith. You see that? Isaac had subjective faith, but they could not read or see or understand the faith that was going to come. You see that? They couldn't read or understand it because, hey, that would be what? It would be brought by Christ. Read.
Therefore the law has become our...
Therefore the law was our tutor to lead us to Christ,
that we may be justified,
so that we might be justified, just as if I had not done it, by what? By faith. Justified by faith. You see that? Read.
But now that faith has
come, see, faith has come, Christ has come, is the same thing. Okay, used interchangeably here, okay? Faith has come, Christ has come, same thing. Mark chapter 1, verse 1, the beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. What is that? Faith has come. You see that? Faith has come. And what is the New Testament? His testament. Amen? Hebrews chapter 8. Hey, testament is no good until what? The testator is dead, all right? He died and ratified that testament by his blood. And we call that testament, or Jude calls it, the faith. He says, don't depart from what Jesus says. Amen? Amen. Okay? That's the point right there. John chapter 16, verse 13 through 16. Or verse 13. We'll look at verse 13. John 16, verse 13. John chapter 16, verse 13. Will you read it, please?
But when he, the Spirit of truth, comes,
but when he, the Spirit of truth, has come,
he will guide you,
talking to his apostles, right, into all the truth. Talking to his apostles.
For he will not speak of his own.
For he shall not speak of his own.
But whatever he hears, he will speak.
But whatever he hears, that shall he also speak. Read.
He will disclose to you.
He will disclose to you